this. Look at the pickup. Look at the turn. Oh, that was brilliant, Luke Bruce. Lewis runs into the open goal. Thank you very much. The Hawks are back in town. And he finishes more. He can with his fourth. He's had a day out. Scrimshaw, after seas, went for home and nails it. He'll just set it up, looking for the high flyers. And Sicily soaring through the skies. The Warpino to finish it all off.
We're just a week out from one of the most exciting events on the AFL calendar, the National Draft. And sure, we say this every year, but Hawthorn simply has to nail it as our rebuild continues in earnest. In this edition of the Hawk Talk podcast, we're going to cast our eye on some of the most promising prospects up for grabs, the players likely to land at Hawthorn, and some of our personal favourites we'd like to see picked up by the club. There's a fair bit to get to, so let's get on with it. Welcome to the show. My name is Nick Mason, and welcome, as always, to my co-host. G'day, Tiz.
G'day, mate. 168 hours to go.
Counting down. That's awfully precise of you.
Yeah, well, you got to be precise about these things, because if you're imprecise and Hawthorn's picks like move out 1 or 2, it's going to change all my results.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. We are contextualising it for people. and we famously know that with this podcast, the morning after the record is when something happens.
Look, there's still opportunity for Hawthorn to make a deal with Brisbane or Essendon or someone else, move up the draft. But as a
GWS as well in the mix.
Really?
Yeah, we could get up to 19, apparently.
Interesting.
Yep, so there's a fair bit to play out, and like I said, it can happen as people are listening to this.
Now, before we get on to that, there are a few stars in this draft, but next year. Next year's the big draft.
Right.
Isn't it? That's the one everyone's looking at. They're like, don't do any future rounds from next year because it's better than this one. It's going to be the super draft.
That's it.
Like that other super draft that I can't remember that we had recently that turned out not to be one.
I would say it's not so super if you can't recall it.
Probably more about me.
No, okay. No, fair enough. Well, you're taking it on yourself. That's fine. I mean, don't be too self-deprecating. I know it's been a hard week for you. You've been overlooked again. Your AFL dream has gone up in flames for another year.
My hair wasn't long enough for Nick to pick me. That's it.
Oh, there are some fantastic hairstyles going around this draft. Don't worry about that.
You've had a haircut. Because I was going to mention all the haircuts that the boys have. You look at Will Ashcroft in the Herald Sun.
Yeah.
He already has the I'm on a footy card already, mate.
He really
what
does.
are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Look, doesn't he? So...
Well, needless to say, we're not going to really profile Will Ashcroft because he's going to be out of our reach almost instantly. Hawthorn's picks 6, 24, 41, 48, 50, 52 and 65 at time of recording.
Pretty exciting, actually, having the 41, the 48, the 50 and the 52 because there's a few talents around that area that have fallen due to injury, which happens a lot. And let's be honest, when Hawthorn had their first picks in the 40 to 60 bracket, they were pretty good. Yeah,
we've done well with that bracket, it must be said. I mean, the first name that comes to mind for me is James Sicily.
Yeah.
You know, most recent Peter Crimmins medalist. I think he was 56, if memory serves. Yeah, so we can work wonders with selections. I mean, look, my boy Mitch Lewis, pick 76.
Yeah.
So you just never say never.
Still hasn't gone past Harry for my mind.
Morrison.
Harry Morrison. Yeah.
He was 73, wasn't he?
74.
74, okay, I was close. And also you're wrong. Anyway, we move on. We should get to some of our first rounders, the guys who we think could be taken with pick 6, which will probably end up being pick 7, to be fair, after shenanigans.
Just to go back to that, they both wear numbers 1 and 2.
That's right, yeah, that's
odd.
True.
Yeah. They're like the last picked on the list.
Very peculiar how these things play out, but that's how it is at Hawthorn. Our first rounder that we're going to focus on first is Bailey Humphrey.
So he's our first target, Bales.
That's right, yep.
Yep.
Here's Humphrey.
He's gonna hang around. Look, midfield forward means nothing. He could play anywhere. Vic Country, Gippsland Power. We've had a few boys at the club from there.
Well, not just from the Power. He was captain.
Yeah, okay, he's captain. Yep.
Some pretty impressive averages as well. 19.8 disposals, 5.7 marks, 4.6 tackles, 4.5 inside 50s, and almost 2 goals a game. And he's one of the leading prospects from Vic Country. Definitely a top 10 talent. It just seems like it's a matter of where he goes.
At that height, you'd have to say he'd be a midfielder in the AFL.
Yeah, 185 centimetres and 86 kilos.
Does he have many tricks?
An elite contested game. The sheer power and strength have really caught the eye of talent scouts. Add to that the occasional cameo as a damaging forward. I think you've really got an exciting package here. He's undoubtedly a really attractive prospect. And look, for mine, a noted ball winner that can hit the scoreboard and have that kind of impact, that's who I want to see in the middle.
Yeah, I did notice that Sammy Mitchell's unmentionably non-negotiable disposal efficiency is not on his list of strengths.
Yeah, it might be a bit of a question mark, the finishing and the endurance aspect of Bailey Humphrey's game, but the rest of it looks pretty good. He's a good contested mark for a midfielder. His inside game is there. Like I said, with strength comes the power in his game as well, and he does have that scoreboard impact. So Bailey Humphrey, I've listed him first because he might be my choice, but again, it's so hard to know just who's going to be left.
You don't think he'll end up at the Cats?
Well, they seem to have their hearts set on Jai Clark.
Was Humphrey a cat? What is he? He's a bear.
Humphrey's a bear, yes. Famously.
Fat Cat was the cat.
Yes, Fat Cat indeed was a cat. Well said. You worked that one through. Well done.
It does have its moments, though, because if there's a kick into the forward line, here's Humphrey.
Exactly right. Yeah. I mean, that's first goal right there.
That won't get annoying at all, Dwayne.
No, come on. That's a Hutto call. Can't you just hear it? You can hear Anthony Hudson calling that.
Can we hear him? Where is he going? Is he signed anywhere?
I'm not sure. Well, he's one of the best in the business for mine, so I hope he sticks around.
Where is this next name? I like. I could yell this out at great volume.
Elijah Sartis.
A balanced midfielder is how they bill Sartis. He just oozes class. He's 79 kilos, a height of 186. He's fast. He's not exactly strong, but he has football smarts that other players would envy.
The accumulation is there. He's a very productive player, and I feel like every draft rolls around, I'm always looking for the speedy players, and this guy absolutely fits that bill. He could be the solution to us needing a very quick midfielder. He's lightning quick, clean hands. Like I said, he's able to accumulate a lot of the footy fairly consistently too. He is regarded as a balanced midfielder with assets as an inside and outside weapon. So whether you need him at the coalface, Tiz, or blazing a trail up the wing, he could be the guy.
Touch of the Peter Riccardi's.
Could be. He's
certainly got the hair.
We mentioned Humphrey before. He's a little lighter than Humphrey. Doesn't boast the same kind of strength, but he's still tipped to go inside the top 10, and that's off the back of a really strong return after injury as well. So I think that's pretty impressive that he's able to bounce back that way.
Been interviewed by the club too.
Same as Humphrey. Humphrey's been reportedly interviewed multiple times by Hawthorn.
Oh, is that a question mark or a good thing?
You know what? After all the years of doing this, I still don't know. Because you remember what happened with Josh Ward? They left him alone. Yeah. They left him wondering.
So what we should be doing is looking for the ones they haven't touched.
Maybe. Well, the next guy, we've flown out from South Australia to meet with him. He was at training today. Did you know that?
Philippou, you mean?
Yeah, Philippou. Mateus Philippou was flown out from South Australia. The Hawks met with him today. So should we take that as a sign of...
Is he already on the plane back? That could be a sign.
That could be as well. Another midfield forward hybrid player, arguably the premier draft prospect from SA, a big body midfielder that can float forward, as I said, and make the most of his elite aerial ability and overhead marking now, which is a good combo there.
Again, disposal of efficiency, especially by foot, although he has had an ankle injury, is one of the question marks over Mateus.
We mentioned this in one of our previous podcasts. I think it might have been one of our bonus ones, actually, that he's forged a reputation as a highly confident and competitive young man. Asked which player he'd take if he had pick number one, he said, and this is a quote, I think I'd have to say myself, just because I think if you're not going to back yourself, you probably don't have the confidence required to play in the league. Fair comment? Yes? No?
So has he, in that one sentence, said, I'm the best, but also I need to behave like I'm the best so that I convince others that I'm the best as well?
Oh, I would suppose that's an accurate reading of things, yeah.
So he's second-guessing himself.
No.
Is that what's happening? Because it's not, I'd take me. It's, I'd take me because I think that's what people are looking for.
Well, you've got to possess that winning attitude that you can. If you don't think you can, you're not going to make it, I think is the point.
Oh, okay.
So how much ego is in that comment is, I guess, open to interpretation, but I don't think he's necessarily incorrect. You got to believe that you can match it with the best if you're going to.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen blokes with less talent than others who just had the belief.
Yeah. Exactly right. Belief is a wonderful thing like that. A scintillating finish to his Sandville under-18 stint meant that he rocketed up the draft order, did Philippou. He averaged 33 touches in his final 4 games. Pretty impressive. Kind of reminds me of Chad Wingard's back end to that 2021 season. The main question marks are around his field kicking, as he covered, Tiz, and how well he actually bounces back from that ankle injury. Otherwise, there's strengths aplenty. Athleticism, clean hands, he can hit the scoreboard as well, which has kind of been a theme with the draft prospects we've been talking about so far, which I kind of like.
Huge aerobic capacity. If we get a chance to get him, he is elite, and we'd see him playing next year. We saw everybody this year. There's no reason why we wouldn't see Mateus.
That's right. Mateus Philippou, he's sort of seen as a guy that Essendon have their eyes on. And they could nab him before us, unfortunately. So if you're someone listening to this that's really keen on him, just maybe prepare yourself for disappointment. The other guys are a little more likely, the other guys that we've covered so far. This guy's a really good shot, though. The next midfielder that we're going to cover, and there is a definite theme about midfielders in this first round, the guys we're looking at. Cam Mackenzie.
Yeah, I reckon this is the bloke they take.
Really? Wow.
I do.
So what are your arguments for Cam Mackenzie? Is it the fact that he's more of a balanced midfielder? He can play both roles pretty well?
Clean hands, good at the stoppage, and his disposal efficiency is very high. Can run all day, not bad with his decision-making. He also kicks a goal, and he's got the same name as the recruiting chief. So
Mackenzie for Mackenzie.
He's got an A where...
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I noticed. He actually started out as a defender, did Cam Mackenzie, but has found himself with a new home in the midfield. Could he eventually provide what Tom Mitchell was offering us? Granted, it's going to take a few years, but with the added bonus of disposal efficiency, which famously, I think Hawthorn fans became a little bit frustrated with by the end.
So he's 188 as well, which is slightly taller, but not a big midfielder by any.
There are bigger bodies than this in this crop, for sure.
But a good height. And look, he played in the NAB League Grand Final. He's got 2 goals, 25 touches, and he's a solid player. I'm not so much in this draft looking for ceiling. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking for base level. He won't provide anything less than this. Yeah,
no, I get you. Yeah,
yeah, okay. Because I'm looking to build the base in the side of Hawthorn, and I think if you have a base level for even in the first round, where perhaps you should go for the best talent, and this guy could be incredible, I still think Cam Mackenzie is a very good chance to come to Hawthorn.
Well, Mackenzie is regarded as one of the best pure midfielders of the draft, so safe as houses there, incredibly balanced across all the attributes we tend to take into account with this stuff. Strength, speed, agility, endurance are all there. He's a very classy operator with excellent footy IQ, and he is tied to the Saints through their academy, but whether he lasts or not, if we don't pick him up, if other clubs don't, Saints will probably take him with, I think it's pick 9, something like that. But I assume if they roll the dice and let him slide, it won't be long before he's taken.
Well, Cam Mackenzie is one of those ones that may slide because, as I said, his ceiling isn't as high as the other guys. So if you're prepared to have a punt or you're in the window, I don't think the Saints in any way, shape or form are in the window. They're in a similar position. That's why they're looking at players like this who have a high floor to their performance.
Yep. Now, this guy you are super keen to talk about.
Yep. Yeah, Ben Allen's boy, Ed. I'd like to bring him to the football club, but that's because, Ben was one of my favourites growing up. And I was shocked and aggrieved when he left.
Well, you're going to be really annoyed to compound that, to hear that he's not eligible by a father's son.
Oh, I know. I know that already. Otherwise, he wouldn't be listed in the first round, as we could have waited.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, if you saw his dad play, if he's anything like that... Anyway, I shouldn't talk like that because that's...
Why?
That's a bit of garbage. It's nostalgic. It's not really...
No, that's fine. You're allowed to like the guy.
Ed mightn't be anything compared to his dad.
Well, he's a tall utility.
194 centimetres. Can I just put that out there?
Yeah.
If you're a midfielder and you're 194 and you play like Ben Allen, oh my goodness.
See, I knew you'd like this because 194 centimetres, he's carved out expertise as a wingman. Immediately I'm thinking, gee, I wonder if Tiz might be a fan of this guy, considering it's got a little bit of the Con and Ash about it.
Yeah, well, we can't have two. So, Ed, have a nice career, mate.
Oh, no. You can slot him into the midfield, as you said. He relishes the tough stuff. He might actually be, like, if I could say this, the unicorn of the draft. 194 centimetres that posted 2.81 second 20-metre sprint. That's fifth all time.
Yeah.
Tiz. Not just this combine, that's all time. 8.25 agility, fifth at the combine, with an ability to perform inside and outside. That's pretty special.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're not convinced he's that special, to be quite honest. It sounds like they're underrating Ed Allen, and I hope he does drift. I hope he drifts a long way, and we might be able to pick him up later.
Yeah, I mean, he's not talked about in the same breath as, any of the guys we've talked about so far. He's just not grouped with them. So, look,
do you know why? He's too tall.
He's too tall?
Lower back issues.
Yes, well, he does have some lower back issues that he's contended with across 2022. He is a potential first-round pick, but as you say, he could well slide, and, that'd be good for us. Also in contention, something that Cal Toomey pointed out, Ruben Ginby is apparently on Hawthorn's radar, who's another quality midfielder.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's meant to go in the top 10. He's out of Perth too, 189 centimetres, 82 kilos. So not quite as tall as Ed, but he just has a huge amount of upside. A lot of people compare him to Tom Green because he's not dissimilar looking.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, I mean, his athleticism is huge. He just looks like a player you could make into whatever you liked. At the moment, he's sort of playing half-back, which, as we know, is one of the easiest positions in the comp to get touches and look good.
Yeah.
So he's definitely going to be drafted. But, look, don't we have enough half-back flankers? I mean...
Well, there might be a few more that we cover in this list, but I'm of the same mind. I would hope that they would be more versatile, that we could plug them into different areas of the ground.
Yeah. Well, that's what we want. Can my long shot for the first round?
Yep.
I can see it happening, but if he's still hanging around, right? Because I think you'd go a bit earlier than this, but Aaron Cadman.
No chance.
No chance?
No chance. It's said that GWS are going to pick him up immediately.
Yeah, I suppose they do need a forward.
That's the expectation. Look, mate, I hope you're wrong. Because, I'd be keen for Cadman, certainly.
195 centimetres, 91 kilos. Can he play midfield? Because that's what we need.
Well, he's the premier key forward of this draft crop, isn't he? I think that's his expertise.
He is, and he's even good below his knees.
Yeah.
So, no chance? They haven't got him going that high.
I don't think he is a chance, no.
Even if he were available, Sheasel's taken, Wardlaw's taken, Sardis, Humphrey. I know you want him, but he got picked up. Phillipou.
Okay. Well, this...
And then you got Jai Clark or you got Cadman. What are you going to do?
Yeah, well, okay, so here's the big burning question at that point. Does our first pick have to be spent on a midfielder?
No.
Well, I mean, okay, strictly speaking, it doesn't.
Remember BTA.
Best talent available.
Like you voted.
I haven't
in the
voted
election.
Yet. I have not
just
voted yet.
Best talent available. Tick, tick, tick.
No, I've not voted yet. There's no rush. I mean, we did our due diligence. We interviewed at least 4 of the candidates.
Yeah, what are you waiting for?
Because I can.
He's open to offers.
No,
now.
I'm not. December 9th is when voting closes. I'm not going to say...
It's so far away, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm going to take that whole time.
It's the longest preamble to an election decision.
Well, it just feels like every single day someone's got a bit more to say. Whether it's not just Kennett, by the way. That's not my implication.
This here in the middle of the pod, are we? We just...
Well, you brought it up.
End of the first round, we've got to talk about something before we get to pick...
You brought it up. I'm not taking accountability for this.
Chris Langford coming from the back of the field.
Well, it's... Okay, so this is a little bit like Civil War, basically.
Well, he's declared it as that. Yeah.
Well, it is. Like, it's... Langford is on the side of Gowers. You got Dipper as well.
Is that right? Because he said he was on the fence.
Well, it appears to be very staunchly anti-Kennett, and that seems to be...
But still on the fence.
Well, it seems to be associated with one camp more than the other. Oh. So you got Dipper, who's backed Gowers as well, Ayres, as we know, I think Schwab as well. You've got a number of past players. I read literally just before we came on to do this recording.
It's the Monday after, most of the votes that are ever going to be cast have already been cast.
Yes, yep.
And they're coming out now. It's a bit odd, right?
Well, there's still people left to convince. There might be people like me that are just biding their time.
Yeah. You going to change your vote, eh?
I don't think so, no. I have a fair idea of what I'm going to do, but...
Lock it in, Ed Allen. Lock it in.
No,
and we're back. Second rounders.
No, all I want to say was there's a number of past players that have put their weight behind Nankivell now as well. Campbell Brown, Nathan Thompson, Jared Roughheads.
Oh, this is
Jordan
really
Lewis.
healthy. I'm really enjoying this. Like, let's cleave the club with the past players setting out who they want to lead the club.
Well, mate, it's unavoidable. That's what's happening. That's our club right now. It's not great. Not great off field at the moment. And I hope whichever way this goes, we can put all of this behind us. And
you know what we need? A social club.
Yeah, well, instead of the anti-social club that we've got going at the moment, it's no one likes each other. It's playing out in the media. It's a terrible thing to see.
Anyway, that's another reason to take Ed Allen, the family club, writ large.
You're obsessed. You've got a problem.
I probably do.
We need to move on to the second round. Actually, before we do, so Cadman would be your pick. If you absolutely had a dream scenario where you could...
Oh, no, there's other people. But there's one that could fall through.
Okay, all right.
I don't think he does.
No, I don't think he does either. But what about the guys...
But if he does and he's there...
Yeah.
Don't you think they'd take him?
Yeah. Which would be tough because I'm so set on having a midfielder. But
usually, first round key forwards work out.
Well, I can't...
Hogan, Patton...
I was about to say, I can't dispute that with what's happened with Hawthorn's history. And you're taking the piss. As always.
Okay. Even when one works out and Melbourne pick up that guy who's now gone to Freo. You know, he's key position player.
Yeah, Jackson, you mean?
Jackson, yeah. Off he goes.
Well, there are no guarantees in footy. As we'll learn with some of these prospects here that we suspect might not stick around even if we pick them.
No, really? You're going to pick up Isaac Keeler?
Isaac Keeler.
Yeah.
You have to really make a point of separating the first and second name.
Yeah. It's like Isaacini. Like Zucchini. And I wrote to Hutto and he never went with it.
Right. Well, Isaac Keeler, key forward, ruck, big man with X factor and match winning impact. Yes, please, sign me up. He's tipped to go somewhere between picks 15 to 30. His ceiling is super high. He's got a surprising triple threat of athleticism, mobility, and skill for a guy that, as I say, 198 centimetres. That's
the height of a Hawthorn premiership ruckman.
That's right. Yep, that's pretty big. Capable on the lead, in the air, when the ball hits the deck as well. He's dangerous at the coalface. He's dangerous as a key target up forward. So quite like that duality.
Yeah. So he's dangerous everywhere he goes. Mm-hmm. Can't take a contested mark. I would say that's quite...
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out. That's seen as a knock against his game. For 198 centimetres, you'd think he'd have no problem.
So have you picked another Timmy? Because improvements, contested marking and physicality.
Yeah, they're the areas he can work on. And,
that sounds good, mate.
Well, maybe that's
Does he have long hair?
No, he does actually. He actually does.
Anyway, look, very good around the goals. Bit of an opportunist, which I kind of like.
The deficiencies that we pointed out might be the reason that Adelaide decided against nominating him as an NGA option. They're going to be unable to match a bid for him should a rival club call his name before the cut-off. So anywhere between 15 and 30 is tipped to go, and we could be in the market for a key forward, which we do need. That's going to be an area of consideration for Hawthorn this draft. And if he can double as a ruck, well, that's good as well.
Now, you've gone for a small forward here in Charlie Clark.
Well, you know I like my fan favourites. Any guy that in the write-ups that you read, you know, the scouts and so forth, any guy that has the traits that suggest he's going to be beloved by the fans, I'm instantly interested. I'm on the edge of my seat already. That's thanks to his sheer competitiveness. Yeah. He has a knack for freakish goals.
I wonder who you're thinking of.
Well, I was thinking Puopolo.
Really?
Yeah, because all his traits are just, you know, it just reminds me of like a little terrier, a small forward who's going to terrorise the defenders of the opposition. He's tricky to nullify.
Does it say back pocket and bricklayer that made good?
He's really tricky to blanket, is Charlie Clark. He was held goalless in just 2 of 15 appearances for the Dragons.
Like that.
And that was en route to a premiership too, so he's been a very handy contributor.
Okay, the good side. Okay, that's not as impressive.
Okay. His best game came against Tassie, in which he slotted 7 goals. 7 from a small forward.
Hey, just quietly, if you're recruiting, are you picking anyone from Tassie, knowing that they've got a team coming?
Well, that's forecasting who we're about to get to. But anyway,
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, there's a guy later on that we'll probably mention, and that'll come to
the one with the big red line through his name?
No,
Yeah.
no. Pleasingly, I feel like Charlie Clark does have that defensive side to his game to complement his scoreboard impact. You can run him through the midfield if required as well. So he's got a strong contested game, good goal sense, electrifying speed. He could be Paulo-esque, and I like that.
181 centimetres.
Yeah, he's very small, and, you know, he could...
Does he wear a helmet?
I don't think so. I've seen pictures of him, but I can't actually recall. But, look, that small forward position, it's still going begging at Hawthorn. I know we're looking for Tyler Brockman to sew that up, but that's still question marks there, so...
Yeah, everybody who sort of goes for that role ends up playing further up the field.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Well, I mean, we'll probably play Bruce in that very close to goal...
Yep.
Small forward role without much pressure on the defenders.
Moore will still make the occasional cameo and be good for 3 or 4 goals a game.
But he's definitely moving up the ground.
Yeah, he's graduated.
Mitchell and bloody O'Meara going.
Yeah. No, he's bound for more midfield minutes, you would think.
Butler? Where's Butler going to be?
Well, Butler's in contention of that role as well.
Right.
So he could be the small forward that we need. But
Well, I liked him upfield. Like, he makes good decisions as well. He's not just a goal sneak. He's
that's true.
Good at manoeuvring his body, getting to the...
Now, did you anticipate that we'd be talking about a tall defender this draft?
No.
Well, there's a reason I've included him. Josh Weddle.
Yeah, what's the reason?
Well, touted for his aerial prowess and rebound running mostly, I feel as though he's the ideal understudy for Sam Frost. You already seem sceptical. Can I mount an argument? Because I feel as though he's versatile in the same way as Frosty. He can play on smalls and talls. He's pretty quick as well. He applies himself in a very aggressive, rebounding backman kind of way. I mean, it's all sounding pretty familiar. And Frost, what, is he 28, 29? He's not going to be on the list forever.
No, you're quite right. His composure and in-between size listed as improvements is exactly like Frost.
Thank you. I was waiting for you to point that out. It adds to my argument, doesn't it? Everything else, all of his strengths.
You want 2 of them.
No. The idea is that Weddle comes into his own just as Frost is about to retire.
Okay.
So that's the timeline there. Whether we need to do something about this draft
really?
or...
I don't want to touch the back line.
Well, we are overstocked.
And he's not that tall. He's only 192.
Yeah, we're overstocked in the back line, and so I don't know. Kevin Sheehan had this to say. He's rock solid in defence in all matches for Vic Metro. Averaged 15 touches, 4 marks, 3 tackles, and 4 rebound 50s a game. In impressive championships, and won All Australian honours as well. The intercept marking is there as well. He's got good strength one-on-one.
Is he even touted to go about this place?
He's not first round. He's second round.
Okay.
So I think anything upwards from about 20, between 20 and 40.
No, he's going before 20. So
he is?
He may not be around, but because there are other teams that really need
that's
defenders
true. Yeah.
before we do.
Well, that's true.
But we certainly won't be taking the next boy.
Speaking of defenders, this is the guy that we have marked as a player of interest, but whether he actually sticks around would be another thing. As soon as Tassie gets a team, is he going to piss off? That's the question.
Well, he's fantastic. He's the Morris medalist. Lockie Cowan.
Yep.
Defender with the Tassie Devils /Allies. 187 centimetres, 81 kilos. You know, athletic, very good reading the ball. He's consistent, beautiful long kick.
Yeah, another guy that has that eye-catching dash off half-back and plays with a bit of flair. Now, again, we kind of... Do we have that position sewn up, or is there room for him?
There's probably not room for him, but he just oozes class.
Well, he's got the talent. You know,
and
Morris medal in the NAB League with those kinds of stats and a very, very dependable contributor. You can't just overlook him outright.
We could probably use him elsewhere. I mean...
plug him into the midfield, or...?
Well, you could even run him on a wing eventually. Mm-hmm. Look, he's just... If he falls low enough, and that's the reason we're mentioning him, if he drifts low enough because people think, okay, well, Tassie going to get a team, this guy's first bloke back to the Apple Isle.
Yeah. Yeah.
We might as well pick him up. We'll get compensation, right? Mm-hmm. If he does go back.
Yeah, we can always count on compensation, famously, Tiz. Yeah. It's a flawless system. One that we can all rely on.
Or maybe because we played so much in the Apple Isle, we won't get as many players ripped out of our club. No, I don't know. We still don't know how they're going to put that together.
We've got a number of other players here worth mentioning. Midfielder Harry Rowston, I believe that's one that you might have had flagged.
Yes. So if we're looking for Giants Academy players, because they're pretty well stocked.
Yeah.
When they come out of there, they're pretty damn good. 182 centimetres, 81 kilos. MVP for the Allies at the National Champs. He's tough, competitive, kicks goals. I would think that Rowston probably drifts a little bit further than this pick, but I'm quite keen to see him in a Hawthorn jumper.
An alternative is mid-forward hybrid Kobe Burgill, who is tipped to go second rounds, or maybe even late first round. It's just, that one's TBD, obviously. Defender Jacob Ryan, defender forward Max Krasuski, which is a hell of a name.
This is great because of the evil bloke in Minions, Gru.
That's right, yeah. That's the nickname right there.
So, just yelling that out from the stands. Gru!
Gru, there it is.
Oh, wow.
It'll never die.
We can't do that because
it's Bruce. But Bruce will retire one day and pass it over. Pass like a torch past. We need to get into some third rounders and late picks. A number of names here that might be long shots. It starts to get more and more uncertain here, where you're just sort of throwing names at a wall and seeing what sticks.
Have we ever had a draft where we didn't pick a kid out of Vic Country, or even Bendigo or the Bush Rangers?
Well, this guy qualifies for that. Harvey Gallagher.
Yeah. Bendigo Pioneer, defender, 179 centimetres, 77 kilos. Look, he was the captain of the Bendigo Pioneers, nabbed their best and fairest. This is a bloke you'd see coming into the side when a couple of our good, cool heads are dropping out of that back line. So I think it's probably a good chance to pick him up now.
Well, it might be the last chance to pick him up. He was overlooked last year and then overlooked again in the mid-season draft, and that's when he really got to work and made people start to take notice. His final 6 games in the NAB League, he averaged 33.2 disposals. So he's not messing around. He's good for scoreboard impact, even from the midfield. Finished the year with 26 scoring shots from his last 8 appearances. Not bad. Exceptional form when deployed as a defender. Plugs into the midfield pretty well. Got that amazing work rate. He uses the footy well. Are clubs going to pass on him this time around? I suspect not. I think it really might be third occasion lucky for Harvey Gallagher.
Well, they all have their reasons not to pick him. Mm-hmm. So he might even drift into the 50s. But we've got so many picks around there, it's a very good chance we pick up Harvey Gallagher.
Yeah, there's a big cluster of picks. Well, what have we got here? It's 41, 48, 50, 52, 65. I mean, it is very possible that Harvey could be a Hawk.
Now, the NGA Academy...
Yes.
If anybody bids...
You did the thing that people do with ATMs. ATM machine, NGA Academy, yep.
Oh, I can't just say NGA.
Yeah, you can. Next Generation Academy.
Okay, fine. So the NGA Academy, if someone's bid on before 40, you have no rights to match or anything.
It does seem that way, yeah. I wasn't aware that was a rule that was introduced.
Yeah, it's brought in now.
Yeah, it seems to be new. And we'll be hoping that this guy, Cooper Vickery, if we're interested, if we do want to elevate him from the academy and bring him into the fold, we'll be hoping that no one takes interest in him until after 40.
Yeah, so what do we know about Coops?
A zippy wingman. He's known for providing plenty of dash off half-back, so there that is again. Obviously, we have that in spades already, but, think lots of rebound 50s, huge tallies of metres gained, boasts a really strong outside game, which I think is an area we could improve on at Hawthorn. Certainly his frame is more suited to the role. He's just 72 kilos, 181 centimetres. He has an average of 17.3 touches for the Gippsland Power, showing he can accumulate the footy without any issues. He's got some quality kicking efficiency too, which I think is also much desired by Hawthorn. And he was reportedly one of the best in the 20-metre sprint in the final day of the NAB Draft Combine. So there's a fair bit going for him. For a small defender wing type player, impact per possession is a little bit of a concern, and strength, obviously being a lighter frame, not one of his fortes. But consistency, versatility, got the rebounding aspect there, speed and transitional running is a big, big strength as well.
He can cover the ground. If you're looking for players that carry the ball and can carry the ball long distances and with smarts, you'd be taking Vickery. We okay with that name?
It feels like a roll of the dice. We were burned once.
Any Rello?
No, I don't think so, no. And we move on.
Well, it's certainly if we're taking him later on, we won't be picking anyone shorter than him earlier.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. The other NGA prospect, Josh Bennett, he was in the mix as well. Pint-sized midfield forward hybrid. That is classy, creative. He has a knack for some scoreboard impact. He went goalless just 3 times across 13 games for the Eastern Rangers. No problem finding the footy either. He averages 18 disposals. Observed to be more at home when pushed up the ground and given a contest, though, rather than a pure forward 50 weapon, which is intriguing. Highly touted, though, for his elite agility, and that was really on display at the State Draft Combine.
Yeah, he's very clever with his forward 50 entries. Mm-hmm. So he can spy a man on the right side of his opponent and just hit him up. It's a knack. That's a craft that not many players have. Gunston had it in spades. Mm-hmm. He could do that. We need that kind of ballmanship.
Yeah, the silver service for our forwards would be good. And it's nice to know that if he's not further up the ground, then he still has something to offer when he is a pure forward.
As we get further out in this draft, these guys can be anything. And,
yeah, pretty much.
We look at Jerome Lawrence. Is he father-son? Did we nominate?
I'm not actually sure of the status of Jerome Lawrence. I certainly haven't read there's been any nomination, but 195cm key forward, the son of Premiership Hawk Stephen Lawrence, of course, who played 146 games.
And knocked out Peter Sumich. Continue.
Potential, as you say, that's the key word here when you start looking at some of these guys. He's shown glimpses as a genuine forward threat, good speed off the mark, he makes for a good target with his aerial skills. The production and consistency isn't quite there at the moment, seen more as a project player that we might bring in with a late pick at best. So, outside chance, but you're right, I haven't read anything that confirms him as a father-son selection for Hawthorn yet.
So, Oakley Chargers again had the best of... that is a fantastic school for young talent. Mm-hmm. So,
got a question for you. I don't know if you happen to research this guy, but Noah Long, is he a brother of Ned Long? I tried Googling this, and they look remarkably similar to the point where I feel silly asking. But I couldn't find any confirmation one way or the other whether he's the brother of Ned Long.
I don't know. Long's a fairly common surname.
Is there anyone else you want to talk about? Is there someone that, maybe you're most excited for in this draft? Maybe who's your pick of the first rounders? You go on Cadman as a long shot, but is there anyone else that you're really excited by?
I do like Darcy Jones out of Western Australia.
Now, he's a pocket rocket, isn't he?
He is
tiny.
Yeah. He should go where we have picks, though.
Okay.
So, between 20 and 40,
yep,
anything can happen. He's remarkably tiny, like 174 centimetres, but 63 kilos. But, what?
Where does he play? Refresh my memory, because I researched this guy a good month ago.
Oh, he's a midfielder.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You'd be thinking, like Smithy and...
Yeah, I was going to say, we just delisted Jack Saunders. I mean...
Yeah, but this kid, he's got acceleration. He gets a lot of the footy.
Yeah.
Run and carry, that's what we're looking for. We need a bloke that can break the lines. He's just consistent as well. And to be consistent and a sort of outside midfielder link player, geez, what will we do for that?
What does this midfield need the most currently? Does it need a contested ball winner, or does it need someone with a bit of creativity?
It needs experience. It needs experience.
Yeah, well, we're
we
not going to
really
get that
don't know what our midfield is capable of.
Yeah, we're not going to get that from the draft, obviously.
No, that's right. So we just have to stockpile talent.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's much point in really chucking money at a really stellar midfielder at the end of next year. I think you just got to build this group together. Unless it's quite obvious that we're not going to progress without some more bigger bodies around.
Yeah, which I think you'll get the sense of one way or the other in 2023.
Yeah. Well, we've got big rucks.
Yep.
Lloyd Meek, he is a big man.
He is.
He would give you confidence. If you're, wandering around at his hip height and you see him there and someone's having a crack at you, Lloyd could just reach over, pick him up by the scruff of the neck, turf him into the stand, and you'd continue on your day.
Yeah, and it goes right into a bin that's in the stand as well, and then someone just puts the lid neatly on.
Mate, he is enormous.
He really is. I was seeing some training photos today, and Emerson Jekker, he's looking good. He's looking fit.
Right. They're going to redo the calendar, you know that.
Oh, they're going to have to, because, the Hawthorn calendar at the moment has one active player left on the front. Did you see that? It's got James Warple there with McAvoy gone, O'Meara gone, Mitchell gone.
Yeah.
Great.
Is the calendar the kiss of death?
Has it been in previous years?
Yeah, there's been a couple of years. Well, obviously, when Mitchell and Hodge and
okay.
Lewis were leaving, it was pretty obvious. Buddy was on the calendar, of course.
Who makes these decisions? Whoever makes
and they make them ages out.
That's right.
One of the most frustrating things about those calendars is, what? They don't have the bloody fixture in it. I mean, what is the point in buying an AFL calendar if they don't have the fixture?
Absolutely, yeah. But you got to have them in time for Christmas. That's the thing.
What? Why?
Well, because they're gifts. They're easy gifts to give.
Are they?
Yeah, I don't give them because they're rubbish. Yeah, they are.
They don't have any info in it that I need. I have to go through them and write the AFL games.
That's right. Now, the fixture's been released in mid-December, I think, isn't it?
Are we getting a fridge magnet?
Oh, yeah. Well, who wants my vote?
It's a low bar.
Oh, dear. No, fridge magnet would be good. It's been many, many years since we had a fixture on a fridge magnet. We're, of course, weighing up whether we go to the Magic Round. In fact,
my housemate used to have a fridge magnet from 2016 to 2019. Just stayed.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
As in it covered all years?
Yeah, no, in 2016 he had still up on the fridge in 2019.
Sorry, yeah, okay, now I understand.
Very frustrating.
Yeah.
Number of times I looked at that getting excited about the game on the weekend. Anyway.
Who can accuse Hawthorn fans of living in the past? No, we're looking at going to the Magic Round. It's just a matter of when that fixture drops and then we can organise that weekend away. But who knows where Hawthorn could be playing? Do you reckon they return to the Barossa Valley? They had a great time there. I'm sure they want to go back.
Well, I don't think there's many who went that are still in the league.
Oh, now there's a point.
Anyway.
Well, for what it's worth, looking at the first rounders, I quite like Humphrey.
What about Harry Barnett?
What about him?
Well, he doesn't seem to be exceptional in anything.
All right, well, won't worry about him then.
But he's a ruck, and he's going to be going 20 to 40.
We're fine for rucks at the moment now,
apparently. But he's strong, and he could take a really good mark.
That's a lot of rucks.
All right.
I'm going to be sold on someone first round.
Oh, you want a first rounder?
Yeah, first round ruck before I get interested, because that division's sorted now. What
about Buslinger?
Oh, yeah, I remember the name. What's
Jed
his deal?
Buslinger. Key defender.
Yeah, pass. I'm sorry, it's got to be either a midfielder or a forward for mine.
What's the deal with Jai Clark? He's Geelong Falcons. Everyone reckons he's going to end up playing at Geelong. They're talking about him. He's a Selwood clone. If he's available, are you taking him?
No. Well, only because there's chatter that, he's likely to end up leaving anyway and go to Geelong. I don't know how legit that is, but that's what people seem to think.
And that worries you, does it?
Yeah, because we need to nail this and need to build the future now. We can't have someone bailing on us.
Surely there's a cliff, right?
For Geelong.
I've been saying it for 10 years now.
I know, I've been saying it as well. When is it happening? As fun as it was to see them always fail in the prelim, and they fall to pieces when it matters most, they did get it done this year, unfortunately for us. And now you wonder if they can do it again.
Do you have a pot shot at Jasper Fletcher?
Nah.
After they didn't do a deal with us on the side to make sure that no one else could get him. Just go, Jasper Fletcher. What a good idea.
That's exactly what Hawthorn should have been doing this whole time. Like, well, if you don't want us to bid, then...
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're absolutely doing
Well,
that.
Hawthorn has to make some moves, right?
Yeah.
Have to move some picks around. And because that gulf between 6 and 24, I don't like it. It's sitting there. It's bothering me. Mm-hmm. I want more picks between them, or I want that 24 to turn into GWS's 19.
Right.
So that's what I would be looking at, but whether they get it done, I don't know. It feels like if they were going to do it, they would have gotten it done by now.
Are you happy for Braden George to come to Hawthorn? He's 186 kilos and 186 centimetres, 87 kilos,
Yeah.
and he's a medium forward.
Yeah, okay.
But he is very, very quick off the mark. The defenders can't keep up with him, and as a result, he's an excellent mark.
Got to start thinking about these sorts of players soon, because Luke Bruce ain't going to be around forever.
Well, I would say Braden George was very much like one Jack Gunston.
Okay.
Aerially, he's brilliant. Consistency is a problem, but it is for most forwards at a young age. He looks like he could fill out reasonably quickly as well, which is something I like to see in a forward that arrives at Hawthorn.
Yeah.
So, look, yeah.
It's all right. Everything's fine. We've got Ferg. Don't worry
So
about it.
when are we getting this party started anyway?
Well, November 21st and November 22nd are the draft nights 1 and 2 respectively this year. Our social media channels have been a hive of activity over the course of the off-season, of course, but it's about to get even busier for us over the draft because you can join us on Twitter as we broadcast live as the draft unfolds. That's both nights, November 21st, November 22nd, live on Twitter.
And in between picks, we'll be reading from Pig, Jimmy and Ruboy. Is that right?
Well, we're going to have to plan something because there could be a bit of time between picks. But that's for banter between us. That's for people to jump on board and have their say about all
And
things
are you getting the
Hawthorn.
KFC bucket or am I? It should be good for 2 days.
One each, mate.
Oh!
And then if we get sick, we have a bucket ready. Anyway, it's going to be the Hawk Talk Podcast draft party, and you're invited. So hop into our space over on Twitter and hang out with us November 21st and November 22nd during the draft. Details close to the date. We'll put them up on our social media so you know how to join the fun.
Elon has reassured us that we are top priority and that it won't fail, Hawk Talk Pod.
And who couldn't rely on that? You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. We have some merch up on Redbubble, t-shirts, mugs, stickers, all sorts of things. Find a Christmas gift for yourself or for another Hawthorn fan in your life, or you can troll an opposition supporter for a Secret Santa, so that'd be fun.
That's brilliant.
Isn't it?
Oh, I have so many... Do we get a discount?
Well, I mean, it's kind of self-defeating, isn't it? It all goes back to us. So... Anyway, finally, we'd like to extend a big thanks to those that support us via Patreon, our proud, passionate and paid-up subscribers who contribute to making this show all that it is. In particular, we'd like to give a shout-out to our latest subscriber. Welcome aboard, Edward. Thank you for getting around us. Now, anyone thinking about subscribing because you like what we do and you want to support us, there's a massive back catalogue of bonus content waiting, and you can sign up at any tier you like, really, as low as a couple of bucks a month. But all the details are up at patreon.com/HawkTalkPod.
So this is the renewal of the Hawthorn Football Club. Sammy Mitchell is going to do his very best to absolutely kickstart the new generation.
It all starts with pick 6, or shall we say 7, whatever it ends up being.
Could be 8 if we go for Jasper.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, it's one that we watch with intrigue. And of course, as I say, with the Hawk Talk Podcast draft party, we'll be talking our way through it. We're doing it live!
This could be a disaster, Nick.
Oh, it could. Well, that's part of the appeal, I would have thought. That's part of why people want to jump on board and join us on the spaces. We'll talk all things Hawthorn. You know, we could talk election. We could talk Pig, Jimmy and Ruboy.
Hawkwood Talk Pod. Could be great.
Could be very awkward indeed. Anyway, something to look forward to. Very much excited for this year's draft. Make sure you join us live on Twitter, nights 1 and 2. That's next Monday and Tuesday. Join us over on Twitter, twitter.com/HawkTalkPod. We will catch you there. We are a happy team at Hawthorn.